You already know how to write a clear prompt, add context, give examples, ask for a specific format. So why does it still feel unreliable sometimes? Because most people improve prompts by vibes. You run it once, eyeball the answer, tweak a word, run it again, and stop the moment one output looks good. That feels productive, but it is really just guessing. The output that impressed you might completely fall apart on the next 10 inputs you never tried. This course is about replacing that guessing with actual measurement, building a feedback loop that tells you, objectively, whether a change made your prompt better or worse. That feedback loop has a name. It's called an evaluation, or Eval for short, and it's what separates advanced prompt engineering from just tinkering. Here's how the trap plays out. You write a prompt that turns customer emails into a short summary plus a priority label. You test it on one email, it nails the summary, labels it high, and you ship it. The next day, it labels an angry refund demand as low and routes it to the wrong queue. What happened? Your one test email happened to be easy. Real inputs vary. Some are long, some are sarcastic, some mix languages, some are blank. A prompt that works on one example tells you almost nothing about how it performs across the whole range of inputs it will actually face. Vibe-based prompting breaks down in 4 ways. You test on inputs that are too easy. You can't compare versions honestly. You can't catch regressions when fixing one case breaks another. And you can't hand it off to a teammate who can't verify a feeling. So what is an eval, really? At its simplest, it's a repeatable test for a prompt, built from 3 parts. First, a set of test cases, a collection of realistic inputs, including the hard and weird ones, not just the easy ones you'd naturally pick. Second, a way to score each output, a rule, a checklist, or a judge that says how good each answer is, whether that's exact match, a rubric score, or a simple pass-fail check. Third, an aggregate number. One score that summarizes performance across every case, like 84% pass, or an average of 4.1 out of 5. Once you have those 3 pieces, prompt engineering changes completely. You stop asking, does this look good, and start asking, did my score go up? Change one word, rerun the eval, watch the number move. That's the entire game. Not every eval scores outputs the same way. There's a spectrum from purely subjective to fully objective, and where you land depends on the task. At the most objective end, exact or programmatic checks. The output must match a known answer, contain a required field, be valid JSON, or stay under a word limit. A script decides pass or fail, no opinion involved. In the middle, rubric scoring. You grade against named criteria like accuracy, completeness, and tone, each on a defined scale. So judgment stays consistent because the rubric is fixed, and there's pairwise preference. Instead of scoring one output alone, you ask which of 2 outputs is better, which is often more reliable since comparing is easier than grading in isolation. You'll use all 3 in this course. The skill is matching the method to the task. Exact checks for extracting a date, rubrics or pairwise comparisons for judging writing quality. Here's the mindset shift that separates advanced practitioners from everyone else. A prompt is a program written in English, and the model is its runtime. You would never ship code without tests and then change it by feel. And a prompt deserves that same discipline because it carries the same risk. Small changes can cause invisible breakage. This doesn't mean you need to become an engineer or write actual code. Throughout this course, you'll build evals you can run by hand, in a chat window, in a spreadsheet, or with simple tooling. The tooling isn't the point. The principle is, define what good looks like, test against real cases, and let the score tell you the truth, not your gut feeling about one lucky output. Before you move on, try this with a prompt you already use at work. Ask yourself honestly, how many different inputs have I actually tested it on? Could I tell a colleague the exact criteria that make an output good? If I changed one sentence, how would I know if it got better or worse? And what's the weirdest real input this prompt will ever see? Have I even tried it? If you can't answer the second and third questions, you're prompting by vibes, and that's true for most people the first time through. Here's the good news. Questions 2 and 4 are literally the first two pieces of an eval, scoring criteria and hard test cases. Head to this lesson on Free Academy AI and paste your own prompt into the interactive playground right there on the page, or drop it into ChatGPT or Claude and ask it to act as a prompt evaluation coach. You'll walk away with pass-fail criteria and 10 weird test cases in minutes, and that's where the next lesson picks up.